What's up YouTube? Welcome to my channel. My name is Ashley Flores if you are new here, and if you've ever heard of the brand Oner Active, then you for sure have heard of the collection SoftMotion. But maybe you're new to shopping them and you don't know what pieces to order, so that's what this YouTube video is going to be all about. I'm dedicating it to every single SoftMotion piece by Oner Active so that way you can make an educated, informed decision before you purchase for future launches or just anything that lives on the website right now. I'm not going to go over particular colors because that's of course forever changing, but I am going to go over the size, the fit, what I would wear it for if I personally like it, and just give you more honest feedback so that way again you can make an educated, informed decision, because ultimately we have to take care of our hard-earned money and I want you to feel confident in whatever you're getting. But as always, I put my stats down below, but I will tell you them also. I am 5'3", I fluctuate between 124 to 132 pounds. I have about 37 and a half glutes, 32D here, waist is about 26 and a half, and then my inseam, which is going to be from the top of your inner thigh all the way down to the bottom, is going to be a 31. So I will also of course put my sizing for each item on the screen and down below in the caption if you ever are confused, and of course reach out to me if you have any other future questions because I would love to help you with them. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive into this honest review of all the SoftMotion pieces. So first let's go over the fabric of SoftMotion. So it's going to be 81% polyamide, 19% elastin. This is going to be a very, very soft fabric, but also extremely stretchy, so it's a very giving product. You've probably seen it, for example, their flares or their straight legs, but believe it or not, SoftMotion has a ton of different products. I do believe personally that this line is great for running errands, for yoga, for Pilates, but going to the gym, I would definitely gravitate towards some other collections that Oner does have. It is going to have sweat wicking material, but that does not mean that it doesn't show sweat. It does indeed show sweat, and very quickly, but it is the kind of fabric that you can live in all day long. When they say naked feel, genuinely mean that. You will never find yourself feeling uncomfortable in this product. It is going to be a little bit on the thinner side, so some of the lighter colors can be a little bit more slightly see-through than others, but example like the reds or more solid looking bold colors, even the darker ones, completely fine. I feel like SoftMotion is a collection that every woman feels confident in. So now let's dive into the actual pieces. SoftMotion Mid Jacket. So this jacket is going to be definitely at a mid crop length. I have a short torso and it comes down right where my belly button ring is. So if you are a taller girl or a taller torso, it may be a lot more cropped on you than it is myself. It does not have any front pockets. There are going to be actually no pockets in this jacket at all. It is going to be a thinner material too, to match example like the shorts or the flares, the straight legs. It is going to have princess seaming, so right here kind of scoops down. It just helps give a very minimal but nice feminine touch to it. Now it is going to have Oner embroidery here and Oner embroidery down below. I love the embroidery detailing that all the SoftMotion has because it's just a nice elevated touch of branding, but again, minimal branding. It does have thumb holes here on both sides. However, you don't even really need the thumb holes. Sometimes I do find myself even just flipping it over, but if it's cold or something, I will do it like this. Most of the time, thumb holes help a product stay in place. But for this, even if you're not wearing it on the thumb holes, it stays completely in place. It's not going to move, not going to budge. You won't find yourself getting irritated with them at all. Very comfortable. I am a sensitive person with armpits, and I don't find either of their jackets or their long sleeves to irritate my armpits or to make me feel uncomfortable or claustrophobic. The fabric is pretty breathable. Now for the zipper, it is going to be a lockable zipper, so when it's placed outwards, you can go ahead and move it however you want, but if you move it down, it's going to stay in place, which is very important, especially for someone who is going to wear it for performance. For the neck, I find it to be more of like a nice mock neck versus an actual turtleneck, which I like because then when you're moving your chin, the zipper portion does not hit you. It doesn't become irritating. This jacket is beautifully paired with all of their pieces. And also if you're looking for something that's going to really expose your bum completely, you may like the mid jacket more than the full length. For me, sizing wise, I personally wear a size small in this jacket. If I was in between sizing, I would say maybe size up. Sizing down, you'll definitely jeopardize some tightness on the arms. And for me, I'd rather be comfortable than to feel like I'm squeezing into something. The SoftMotion Scoop Back Bralette. So this is going to be a plunging V in the front, a little bit more exposure. Now the back is going to be a scoop back. It's going to have the Oner embroidery logo here on the back. It's not going to be adjustable at all, but it does have removable padding right here, and the padding is more premium in my opinion for any of these tops. Anything that comes with padding, you could actually leave it in. It washes great, it lays beautifully, it doesn't look cheap at all, or really where you can even see the padding. I will say this is going to be, in my personal opinion, more of a medium impact bra. They reference it as low impact, but honestly, like, I lift up my arms, completely stays in place. I can go on a run in it, I can do the gym in it, Pilates, where you're doing all sorts of different angles, and it stays in place. Sizing wise, if you're in between sizing, it honestly depends on your chest. If you are smaller chested, you could size down, but also think about this area, right? So if your rib cage comes out a little bit more, or you're a little bit more broader, then definitely size up because of comfort. Because this, although SoftMotion is a very breathable, comfortable fabric that you're gonna wear all day, super soft and stretchy, the way that, I don't wanna say it's not darted, but the way that they do the seaming here to help it stay in place, it may feel a little bit too snug if you size down. So ultimately, I would recommend sizing up if you have a little bit wider rib cage, a little bit broader, or you just have some projection. But if you are a more petite young lady with not much going on, then you could size down. I am a 32D for reference. I love this sports bra. I gravitate towards it all the time. The straps are very comfortable. They don't dig in. The armpit doesn't dig in as well. The seaming here is just gonna be right on the sides underneath the armpit. Other than that, there's gonna be no other seaming anywhere. And it is a comfortable, flattering sports bra. Again, more of a medium impact, but lower coverage in my opinion. One more thing I wanna say about the scoop back bra is that I really love how it scoops underneath here as well. It very subtly goes upwards, and I think that's very flattering on the midsection area. As someone personally who is a bit more narrow and straight, more of a boxy frame, I love anything that helps create an illusion of an hourglass or a little bit more curves. It just helps me feel a little bit more confident, and that's what SoftMotion and all of Oner is about, is making every woman feel confident in their body with whatever they're wearing. So little details like this, I don't want to have them go unnoticed. SoftMotion High Waisted shorts. So these are going to be a 6 inseam with a 3.5 inseam waistband. I want to start with the waistband. It is not going to be something that is very compressive. If you are looking for something that's going to suck you in, SoftMotion is not necessarily that unless you are willing to size down. I think that it lays comfortably on your waist, but example, like if you just relax or you do anything, it's not going to necessarily roll over, but it's not going to suck you in by any means either. It is a very comfortable waistband. Now, for the back, the waistband, as you can kind of see, kind of goes down into a V, and then there's a seam here in the glutes, which is going to help just give a nice glute touch, but not an enhancement. It's just going to be very flattering on the bum, but it's not going to give extra attention or detailing to enhance the glutes by any mean. Now, there is no front seam as well. Camel toe wise, if you have issues with camel toe, I recommend either trying a new seamless underwear or trying to put some panty liner in there. But with SoftMotion, especially if you size down, you don't really have too much of that issue with the shorts. Squat wise and squat testing, the shorts personally, I think the more that you move in them, the more that they actually go into the butt and they kind of slide up. They won't roll up, but they will slide up to where you start getting all those extra little wrinkling here on the side. In terms of showing sweat, the shorts, the leggings, the straight legs, the flares, the tops, all of them are going to show sweat. Sizing wise for the shorts, I like wearing a size small. I also have extra smalls. They fit beautifully. They honestly fit and look the same. They just feel a tiny bit more compressive. If you are in between sizing, I would recommend sizing down versus sizing up because again, this is a very giving fabric and fit. So sizing down will only help you feel a little bit more hugged and compressed versus sizing up. You may start experiencing extra fabric, may experience more camel toe and not feel as hugged as you deserve to feel. I love the shorts for yoga and Pilates and hot girl walks when the weather allows. I haven't necessarily worked out in the gym with them because I think SoftMotion is a little bit more of a delicate fabric. And so if I were to example do hip thrusts or something, I would worry that the bar would make it pill. Beautiful nonetheless, very comfortable, and I love wearing the shorts again to yoga, Pilates, hot girl walk. SoftMotion Minimal Halter Neck is again going to be something a little bit more low coverage. As you can see, it has a nice scoop detailing here. There's also, for this bra and the previous bra, they do both scoop in like this, which allows a nice accentuation of the core area. It honestly, for me personally, as someone who's a little bit more boxy, straight up and down with narrow hips, I love anything that kind of helps create an illusion, which I feel like these bras just are very flattering, especially in this section here. It is going to be a halter neck, so it doesn't dig in. I am actually pretty shocked about that. A lot of halter bras I personally hate because it digs in, it makes me feel uncomfortable. I want to take it off as soon as I possibly can. With this, I don't find myself gravitating towards that. I'm not saying I would wear it all day necessarily, but I could go half a day and then be like, okay, I'm ready to take it off now. The back is going to be nice, open, exposed. Great for, again, walks, yoga, Pilates, even the gym, but again, it's more of a low intensity bra specifically just because the only support is going to be right here. In terms of feeling supported though, you feel supportive. Like it stays in place, very comfortable. I personally wouldn't go on a run with this bra necessarily, but I could confidently hit up upper body session or legs and do some RDLs and be more than fine. I actually really love wearing SoftMotion bras to the gym to work out. Here also in the front, there's going to be no extra seams at all. Again, just the seams are going to be here down the side. And then there's also going to be a seam here on the neck area. Now for padding wise, there is removable padding. This is not going to be an adjustable sports bra. None of the SoftMotion bras are adjustable at the moment. This kind of halter neck pairs beautifully under like any of their long sleeve mellow motion tops or even the SoftMotion long sleeve bra that they just came out with. Great for layering in terms of that as well. But beautiful piece. Sizing wise, I personally am a size small. I would not recommend sizing down again unless you are smaller chested. That's going to be across the board. But if you are in between sizing and you're really unsure, I think it's a better safe bet of sizing up than sizing down. The SoftMotion jacket is going to be a full length jacket, straight here on the bottom. Going to be definitely, again, more of a mid neck for me personally. On their website, it says it's a high neck. I think it's more of a mid neck. Again, when you move your chin, you don't hit the zipper. It's not uncomfortable. It is going to be a locking zipper. So as long as it's sticking out like this, you can go ahead and move it however you want. As long as you put it down, it will stay in place, which again is important for performance, not having to fidget with anything throughout the day. It is going to have thumb holes, which helps the product stay in place. Also just looks cute just running around and everything. I love thumb holes personally. I wear thumb holes all the time whenever it's an option. If not, then I do find the sleeves to be a bit long and I will just fold them back. But if you are longer arm girl, you will love how long the sleeves are. It does have concealed flat pockets here, so they genuinely just lay nice and flat, but when you open them, that's when you know a pocket is there. You will see whatever's sitting inside of it, but if you don't have anything there, they lay nice and flat to where it doesn't stick out like most jackets do, because that is something that really bothers me and pisses me off. It is going to have, again, like the very subtle princess seaming, so where it comes here and then it kind of goes a little bit more down. Beautiful, tasteful. The back is going to be nice and plain. There's no ventilation, nothing else that's adjustable other than the zipper of just being able to move it up and down. Sizing wise, I wear a size small. If I was in between sizing, I would recommend sizing up before I recommend sizing down, because the arms will just become a little bit too tight for at least my personal comfort. The armpits are nice and comfy. It will show sweat though. So if you are a sweater, SoftMotion will show sweat for you. It's just the name of the game with this kind of fabric, but very comfortable. You won't feel necessarily the sweatiness, maybe initially, but throughout the day it dries very quickly. Comfortable jacket, great for layering, running around. I wear this to and from just about everywhere, including the gym. The SoftMotion Sports Bra is definitely going to be a lot more coverage. I would say it's a medium to high coverage. As you can see, very minimal cleavage. It also comes down a little bit longer and more of a straight line versus some of the previous bralettes have more of that scoop going on here. It is not going to be adjustable straps at all. It does have removable padding, and something that I really like is that the seaming here underneath is a concealed seam. So you can't see any of the stitching necessarily from the front, but it does stay in place. It has great coverage, stays in place, feels nice and compressive, but still where you could wear it all day. I feel genuinely very supported in this sports bra. So if you are dealing with a little bit more going on here, I think this is a great option for you. The back is going to be just a nice racer back into a scoop here. Gonna allow for the lats to move nice and freely, but stay comfortable. I do find that the bra and also the bralette, which is a very similar fit, especially from the back, but it just dips down more in the front. So don't get them confused. This is the bra, and then there's also going to be a bralette, which I will try on for you later. I do find that these ones, for some reason, unlike the halter, unlike the scoop back, does kind of dig into my traps a little bit here. I don't know if it's because it's a little bit more supportive and compressive, but it's just something that I have noticed with this bra. I do want to mention though, I do have very tight traps and also predominant traps. So I am very big on items and the way they fit me in this area or the neck region. So if you're ever looking for feedback on that, I will be the biggest critique on that kind of stuff. Even if it's like the slightest chance of it being uncomfortable, I'm gonna let you know. So this is one that I do find myself like throughout the day, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to change out of it because of that. But other than that, great support, a great option for girls who have more projection or more breasts, a bigger breast size. Comfortable, stays nice in place, and again, good coverage. Sizing wise, I'm wearing a size small. If you are in between sizing, you could definitely size up because again, it's more of a compressed bra. I would not recommend sizing down at all in it. The SoftMotion Flare Pant is one of their fan favorites. Do not get it confused with the straight leg, which is an item I will go over also. But for the flared pants, they're going to be nice and compressed on the thigh, and then at the knee area, they're going to go ahead and release into a nice flare. There's going to be no front seam. They are a bit high-waisted. Again, it's going to have that 3.5 seam waistband, similar to the shorts or the leggings or the straight legs. The waistbands are not going to be where it's super tight. The waistbands are going to be nice and comfortable, but if you were to like go ahead and relax, suck in, anything, it's just going to form to your body. It's not going to necessarily compress you in by any means. For the flares, it's going to have a straight inseam. There's going to be no curvature or anything that's going to help do any extra accentuation. SoftMotion is very much giving you confidence within the body that you have versus like any other additional enhancements in the bottom area. For the back area, it's going to have a nice V here from the waistband. So instead of it going straight across, it's going to have a subtle little V, and then this seam down the glutes is going to allow for some nice glute separation to where it's not drawing too much attention to the glutes, but it does help you feel like a little bit more like, ooh, they look nice, they look great, if it's comfortable. Sizing wise, I would recommend sizing down in the SoftMotion for the flares and the straight legs and the leggings, maybe even the shorts, because again, the fabric just has so much to give. Originally, I thought I was a size small in these, and I'm just very quickly learning that I am not. Now, these do come in short, regular, and long length. For me personally, I am a 31 inseam, so you measure your seam from here all the way down to the bottom of the floor, and that's gonna give you your inseam. So sometimes you want to know, example, if you're shopping through an influencer, what their inseam is versus their height, because some people could have extremely long torsos, like some of my friends are taller than me, but my inseam on my leg is longer than them. So they may even still be a short and I'm a regular. So make sure, it's gonna be honestly, maybe even be trial and error for you and what works best for you. If you can't find someone's inseam that's similar to you, a lot of things also play similar roles. Of like example, if you have great quads, then more fabric is gonna push out and then it's gonna get a little bit shorter and shorter. So trial and error, they have a great return system. But for me personally, my inseam, and if your inseam is similar, then you're probably regular. If your inseam is a lot shorter than mine, I would say probably 28 and under, then you could probably do a short, maybe like 33 inseam and higher. I would do long. Don't quote me on that. That's just me trying to give you a rough estimation on that, because they don't really have information on their website about that kind of stuff. And I think it's for that particular reason, because they could give you different heights all they want, but everyone's inseam is going to be different. So learning that is going to be your best friend. Now, in terms of staying in place, if you were to squat, again, with similar to the shorts and the leggings and the straight legs, it just helps kind of go in a bit more into the glute area. And then you may get a little bit of whiskers here in the front. It's not going to be something where the waistband starts falling down. You may, depending on how your torso is, you may get like some slight bunching, but you're never going to find your waistband rolling down unless you got way too big of a size. And that could be a good tell for you on if you got the wrong size. Sweat wise, it does show sweat. Even like if it wrinkles, then you're gonna have wrinkle sweat. I learned that very quickly in Pilates, but you just own it. For all activewear, it's kind of just a thing. I don't care what anybody says. Most of the time, activewear is gonna show sweat. For all the SoftMotion pieces, they're gonna have the embroidery logo here. So it's never going to be a decal that's pressed on or heat transferred. It's just going to be nice embroidery here. I would wear these to run errands, yoga, Pilates. Honestly, you're gonna kind of hear the same thing over and over again with all the bottoms, because that's where I gravitate to wear them more so than in the gym. The SoftMotion Scoop Neck Long Sleeve is one of my favorite items of SoftMotion by Oner. I love the length of the sleeves. They are very comfortable. There are no thumb holes, but they do completely stay in place. But my favorite part of this whole top is the very elegant scoop here, but it also has a built-in bra and it has removable padding as well. I personally don't mind the padding. Again, I think it looks very nice and flush. You would have no idea that there's any padding in this top at all, and you would have no idea that there's a built-in bra in this top at all, the way it lays beautifully and nice and seamless. It is going to be very full length. So for me personally, it comes past my hip and into like my hip dip area region. I think it looks really nice the way it lays on the glutes. Just more modest, but still feminine and attractive. The back area is going to have the Oner logo here, again, embroidered. Other than that, those are the main details of this, but I gravitate towards this all the time. I would love to see it in every single color. Unfortunately, it's not available in every single color. It's only select launches. So whenever it comes out, make sure that you pay attention, because I promise you, you will definitely gravitate towards this top quite a bit. It's flattering, it's comfortable. Sizing wise, I wear a size small. If you are in between sizing, for SoftMotion tops, I think it's a little bit better to maybe size up versus the bottoms size down. Comfortable, scoop neck, it will show sweat. In terms of where I would wear this piece, it's definitely more so running errands. I don't see myself wearing this to a yoga or Pilates class. I'm more so of a sports bra and a jacket person, because I want to be able to let the armpits breathe essentially if I know I'm gonna get too hot. But walking around, running errands, hanging out at home, gorgeous. And I also love this top tucked into sweatpants as well. SoftMotion Bralette is going to be very similar to the SoftMotion Bra. However, this one's going to have a plunging neckline, so a bit more coverage here. And it's also going to be a little bit more shorter here versus the bra came down about there area. This one, it doesn't necessarily have the same scoop that I love in some of the sports bras. I do find this one to be a little bit more straight on, maybe a very subtle inwards, but nothing scooping wise as the other bras that I liked. This is going to turn into a racer back in the back. A very good staple item to have nonetheless. However, like I said with the bra, I do find that this one does irritate my traps just a little bit, not to where I don't wear it. I still wear it for workouts, still wear it throughout the day, but it's not one of the items that I could wear all day and stay comfortable in. I do have to take it off eventually just because it does irritate my traps a little bit. Again, great staple piece, especially for working out, but I wanna make sure that I tell you any sort of details, whether it's positive or negative, so that way you can make an educated decision. It does have removable padding here. I do think that the padding, again, with all of these items, can stay in place. I prefer their items with padding, and if you know me for years, normally I'm always the person to take it out right away because I don't like it, but I think that it really helps this make it look even more seamless, subtle, and flattering on a woman's body. Seaming wise, it's only gonna have the seam here underneath the armpit. It doesn't bother your arm when you rub against it or anything like that. It's very flush, and the logo is going to be here down the center of the back, the nice embroidery there. Sizing wise, if you're in between sizing, I would say size up, especially because of here in this neckline area. For any of the tops, if you're in between sizing, I would definitely say maybe size up versus sizing down. You have more of a chance of being more comfortable in it versus uncomfortable in it. I'm personally wearing a size small. The SoftMotion Straight Legs are one of my favorite pieces of SoftMotion, and honestly, it's what SoftMotion got its popularity for with Oner, because it's one, flattering on the front. I don't know what kind of juice Chrissy and the design team put into this, but it is unlike anything else. And there's a lot of brands who try to copy it, but you just can't. You can't replicate what's perfect already as is. It is going to have the same waistband here where it's the 3.5 inch, but then again on the glutes, it's gonna go ahead and turn into that nice little V that's gonna help accentuate the glutes. Not too much where it's like, hey, look at my glutes, but enough to where it's nice and flattering. And then it has a very subtle glute separation with the seam here. There's no butt scrunch or anything along those lines. It's just going to be as is on how it fits. But something I like about this is that the fabric kind of scoops the butt and then it sits a little bit underneath. So again, it kind of just accentuates the glutes. It's just going to hug your thighs specifically in this area. These are just, they're so good. I love them. I wear a size extra small regular, but I tried the long length. I had to get them hemmed because the color was sold out in my length, so I got them hemmed. The short length I don't like. Think about items, not when you're trying them on, but what kind of shoes you're wearing them with, right? So if you're wearing chunky sneakers or Uggs or different things like that, think about the extra length that you may need versus if you're just barefoot inside your home when you're first trying on the item. That is a lot of mistake that people make, and they're like, oh, it's too long, it's too short, or whatever else, but they're not trying it on with the shoes that they're gonna wear it with. There is going to be no front seam here in the front. I will say with the flares and the straight legs, you do have more risk of getting camel toe and getting whiskers. Anything with like this soft fabric, but then that loosens up. So best way to alleviate that is to size down in the products, and again, wear no undies, seamless undies, or panty liner if you really need it. All of our bodies are completely different, and don't let somebody who says, oh, I never get camel toe, to discourage you if you do. Like, all of our women's anatomy is different. We're women at the end of the day. We're all built different, okay? If you're in between sizing, definitely size down. This item will show sweat for sure. Now, squat wise, if you're squatting, I again find it personally I find it that the fabric just goes into the glutes more and it just looks more flattering the longer you wear it. However, again, you will get those whiskers of the fabric kind of going up when you're doing squats or different forms of movement. I personally really love these. I choose the flares and the straight legs over the normal leggings. I'm gonna film the normal leggings another day because I'm still waiting for them, because whenever SoftMotion comes out, I'm gravitating towards these other items versus those, but did order them so that way I could do a proper full review for you. The SoftMotion Mid Vest Halter Neck. So this is going to be mid, but they also have a full length option as well. So anytime you think of mid, think it's going to come around your belly button area. And then a full length is, depending on your torso, is either gonna come to your hip region or just below it where it's going to sit at the top of your glutes. So this one's going to be a plunge neckline here, like a lowish medium coverage. It is going to be a halter neck here on the back, very nice and thin here. I do find that it can sometimes feel a little bit tight on the neck, so I prefer a few of the other vests versus this one if I'm going to be wearing it all day. But look wise, I love how exposed the back is. I think it's just so flattering. It's going to have the logo here, the nice embroidered logo. It is going to have a built-in bra. All the vests have a built-in bra, but nice and flush, seamless. You can't really see where the bra is or isn't. There also is removable padding in this one as well, but it's going to be a little bit more lower. So usually it's here on the side, it's going to be lower here. Sizing wise, I wear a size small. I would not recommend sizing down, especially because it's a halter, so you're just going to get uncomfortable there. If you're in between sizing, size up for sure. Again, this is going to be offered in a mid and also a full length option. I personally prefer the mid just because I do have a shorter torso. Like the end of my rib cage is here, the start of my hip is here, so really not much to work with there. The SoftMotion Scoop Neck Long Sleeve is going to be a long sleeve sports bra actually. I love layering this over the halter bra, however. It looks so beautiful. Think ballet or yoga, Pilates, princess core. But even just by itself, it's stunning. It's almost like a square scoop neck, so straight down and then a subtle scoop here. Also has the very, very subtle scoop here. Honestly, it does have a subtle scoop because even when you try to make it straight, it does that. It has built-in bra with removable padding. If you are layering it, I would say remove the padding. If not, the padding looks great, stays in place, doesn't look wrinkly or anything even after washing it. The sleeves are just going to be traditional long sleeve. Honestly, a lot of their sleeve stuff comes down to more your hand versus your wrist. If it is at your wrist, you're gonna have some extra fabric here. If that is a no-go for you, any of the long sleeves do typically do that. There are no thumb holes. The back is going to be full coverage. Nothing is going to be cut out, open, or exposed by any means. The logo is going to be here right at the top. One thing that Oner does really amazing at is minimal branding for their core pieces. I love when a girl comes up to me and says, hey, what are you wearing? Because it allows for conversation versus just like it screams walking billboard kind of vibe. Don't like that. Also, if you see me fidgeting, I play with this ring. It's like my fidget ring. So it's just me stimming out extra energy. Armpit wise, it doesn't actually sit completely on your armpit. Like this is me pulling extra fabric for it to hit. Sizing wise, I would say that it's very much true to size. I would not recommend sizing down, especially if you want to find yourself layering this piece, because it will just get too tight on your arms, and that is a complete no-go for me. It does stay in place, again, like moving around, stays nice. You don't have any spillage underneath. It will show sweat. White and black will be your best options if you want to avoid that. This is one of those other items also that doesn't come in every single color. It's only specific launches. So if it is something that you like, whenever it does launch, make sure that you snag it. The SoftMotion Racer Back is one of my favorite pieces for the vest wise. Surprisingly enough, normally I hate racer backs, but I think that the front, how it's not straight or it's not super halter and how it's just like a subtle in between is very flattering, and it doesn't hurt your back, but it still gives some nice exposure. It's comfortable. It layers under the jacket really nicely. It allows your armpits to really breathe as well as your lat area to really breathe. It's literally, think of a hybrid of a halter mixed with the normal scoop, and it's just very comfortable. It will have removable padding and also built-in bra. So all of their vests do have built-in bras, but as you can see, it lays nice and flush. You don't see it. The branding here is also going to be right here at the top. Again, that knitted logo. This does come in a mid and a full length. I, again, personally like the mid just because I have a shorter torso. Even when I lift up my arm, it's not showing any of my stomach region. But if you have a longer torso or you just want to make sure that it's really full coverage, I love that there are options for that in almost all of the vests, like tanks and the long sleeve options. So that is something that Oner does really well with, is providing tons of different options for all sorts of different wants, needs, body types. Sizing wise, I am wearing a size small. If you are in between sizing, like I said in all the other items, I would recommend sizing up for majority of the tops. You're just gonna get more bang for your buck, or more opportunity for it to fit right, especially if you do have like wider lats or a wider rib cage. Like I have some friends who are typically small in other brands, but for the vests in particular, they like sizing up because they just feel like it lays more beautifully, gives them nice coverage, and it's comfortable. Another thing I haven't really spoken on for too much of the bras or the vest, but I do want to, is SoftMotion doesn't really dig in. It lays nice and flush here on the armpits, and I am the kind of person, like I always have like this extra little piece here from, they call it the baby fat, but it's, I don't know what it really actually is, but it doesn't dig in, it just lays nice, it's flattering. You could definitely tell that it's a higher quality piece where they really paid attention to little details like that. The SoftMotion long sleeve, both in the full length and the mid length, are one of the very few SoftMotion tops that does not have a built-in bra. So I actually wear just a seamless bra underneath. I love pairing these tops, surprisingly enough, with sweatpants and like tucking them in. It just gives Kim Kardashian kind of vibe where it's nice and snug up top and then loose. It really helps just give like a nice little shape to you. It is going to be more of a crew neck type style in terms of cut. So little scoop here around the neck, normal seams here, long sleeve. This, I will say, for the long sleeves, you don't get as much extra fabric here. So in previous items, or a lot of the long sleeve items for SoftMotion, like normally it comes down to your mid, it doesn't. For this top, I definitely don't recommend it for working out in necessarily, more so errands, being cozy, comfy. You could also dress this up even with jeans, great layering piece also as well, but I would not wear it to the gym because there's no built-in bra to it. It's just going to be a single layer item. I personally like the full length of this one more than the mid length. Sizing wise, I am wearing a size small. If you're in between sizing, you could size down strictly because it is a single lined item. Just know that if you are choosing like white or a lighter color and you size down, you could risk for it to become a little bit more see-through because you are stretching the fiber. Now on the back, it is going to just have a logo here, but again, very minimal branding, comfortable, not meant to be worn necessarily in the gym, just around and about, but I'm wearing a size small. The SoftMotion High Neck Sports Bra. So this is going to have a dipped front here. So as you can see, it kind of goes up here and then dips down. This is going to really help accentuate and add some like illusion of curves. It is going to be high neck, but the way it's cut, it kind of cuts more of like a triangle versus straight up and down. So you're not digging into your armpits. It's actually really flattering in this region area versus if it were like this and kind of dig in. It's very cut nicely. Armpits nice and breathable. This doesn't go high into your armpits. Normally things like that where it's cut like this just adds for the risk of that to where it just feels uncomfortable in all the wrong places. You don't have that with this. It does have removable padding. With this item, I would recommend keeping the padding in because when you take it out, I feel like it loses some of its support. This is a great option sports bra if you are looking for something that's going to be a little bit more high coverage, but also a little bit more supportive if you have more going on in this area. The back is the highlight of it all though, because it's covered up here, supportive band right here, but then you still have that openness in your back, which is just very, very, very flattering. Allows for your back beams to show, and this beautiful area too, which is the mid back area. It's comfortable. It is not adjustable though. Sizing wise, if you're in between sizing, especially because this is a lot more coverage, I would recommend sizing up because if you size down, you could risk it cutting in all the wrong places instead of the right places. I'm wearing a size small in this, and I don't think this is necessarily one of my favorite pieces that Oner has for SoftMotion, but I do like that it is a diverse profile for all sorts of different wants and needs for body types. For me, because I have such a short torso, I feel like high neck stuff just isn't the most flattering on me. And also like high neck stuff normally makes me uncomfy. This one doesn't, but for the terms of just, I don't know, I just feel like it doesn't make me look proportional, but I love the back region of it. I honestly think that this in a form of a tank would be gorgeous, but who knows, maybe one day. The SoftMotion Strappy Mid Vest. So this is also going to be available in a full length as well. I don't have a preference on the mid versus full length because out of all the vests, this is the one I gravitate towards the least, which I'm actually shocked about because normally I love just like a plain tank top, but that just speaks volumes to how comfortable and like appearance wise flattering the other ones are compared to this one. It's very comfortable, delicate, nice scoop here, almost like straight line with a very subtle scoop. It is going to have a built-in bra, again, nice and flush. The padding for this one you could take in or out and it still kind of looks and fits the same. It does have removable padding, by the way, which I feel like that was a given with what I just said. The one negative I have about this though is that the straps are not adjustable. Selfishly, for me personally, I don't even feel the need to adjust the straps, but that could be a negative. For example, you who are watching, maybe you know that's something that you always have to fluctuate with, or that's a deal breaker for you. The back is going to be a nice subtle scoop, nothing to where it jeopardizes comfort or support, but just enough to where it's nice and flattering and shows off some of your back gains, as well as the embroidered logo here on the back. In terms of sizing, I wear a size small in this. It could be one of the very few items that you could size down in. Just know that depending on how much you do or don't need this, that could change. I would only size down if you know you're probably gonna want this a bit tighter. Other than that, if you have a lot to work with or something, then you could size up comfortably and be fine. Again, selfishly for me personally, it fits great. I don't need to adjust it, but that could be something that could affect you wanting the item. So of course I'm going to tell you. SoftMotion leggings. So I'm actually really impressed with how these fit. I did size down to an extra small, just like I do with the flares and the straight legs, and it feels really comfortable. This waistband feels a little bit more snug than, example, the flares or the straight legs do. It just feels like, see, even like if I breathe out, how it kind of still wants to push me in right there. I do find it to be a tiny bit more compressed and hug you. So if you do want a little bit more tummy control, I would recommend the leggings over the flares or the straight legs for that. Also, it's compressed and straight all the way down. I am wearing a size extra small short regular. It also comes in a long length, but the short regular hits me about here. I just have my socks up high. These are also the Oner socks, chef's kiss. It doesn't say if it's a high-waisted or a mid-rise. For me personally, I find this to be a high-rise because it is covering up my belly button completely. It is not going to have a front seam. The waistband, again, is that 3.5 inseam right here. There's going to be no seam on the side. So the flares and the straight legs do have a seam on the side. Your seam is going to be right here on the inside area. And then for the butt, it is going to have the same waistband that goes down into a V, and then that seam that goes into the glutes. That is going to be the only sort of glute detailing that you have on these. There is not going to be any contour, any other seams, anything that's going to enhance the glutes by any means. If you're in between sizing, definitely recommend sizing down. It really does stay in place. It's nice and comfortable, but again, that's with me sizing down. I'm gonna say it again, size down. They're very, very comfortable. It is that 4-way stretch, so even with me sizing down, I still have even more room to give. See-through scale, this is a black. I do find it to be pretty solid. I'm standing literally in front of a sliding glass door, windows everywhere, all behind you, and it seems pretty fine by me. I really like these leggings. I'm actually impressed with them. I never really ordered them because I just thought I liked the flares and the straight legs more. And don't get me wrong, I think I still do. But you would definitely catch me ordering more of these now that I know how they fit and how comfortable it feels. Very, very comfortable, very flattering, and I don't know what else to say. I think that's it. SoftMotion Scoop Neck Vest. So as you can see, it's going to have a plunge neck here, a little bit more round. So coverage wise, I would say it's a medium coverage. Your straps are going to go straight back into a nice scoop, the embroidered detailing here. It is going to have removable padding here, and then also a built-in bra. I do find that this tank fits very flattering. It hits you right in the nice place. It is going to be a full length. It is not offered in a mid-length, so full length right around, for me, my hip bone, which as you guys know, I have a shorter torso. Paired with the black leggings, like this whole black fit is very cute and a good option to dress up or dress down. Like example, I just threw on boots and a jacket with this to see what it would look like if I were to bring it to London, and it looks amazing. So a great option if you're looking for something where you don't want a ton of color and you want to have a good stable piece. Something like this in all black or like a gray would be a great option. The vest is offered pretty much a lot of the times with any of the SoftMotion launches. It's not going to be something similar to where it's like the long sleeves where you find it in only certain colors. This is going to be offered more wide range. I'm wearing a size small in it, 32D. I think if you're in between sizing and you are small chested, size down. If you are just normal chested, bigger chested, then you could size up. These I don't find to be as tight as, like example, the halter or the racer back. It feels like it has a little bit more give. It feels like this is something that I could travel in, stay in for days on end and not be uncomfortable. If you are looking for something that isn't going to sit on your traps or irritate your neck, this is going to be a great option for you. All right, that is it for all of these SoftMotion pieces. If you have any questions or any future SoftMotion items launch, I will be sure to go over them in other future videos. But thank you so much for watching. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to DM me on my Instagram or comment them below. I would love to help you. And if you do shop, please use code Flores because it directly supports me and it also saves you a little bit. There's also a support link down below as well. But yeah, I hope this video provided value for you and it helped you make an educated decision. Love you, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.